All right, let's talk about something that affects every single one of us, stress. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Today we're going to flip the script on stress. We're going to stop seeing it as the enemy, understand what it's really for, and I'll give you an incredibly powerful science-backed tool to put you back in the driver's seat. Let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? Your heart starts pounding, your mind is racing, and you just feel completely overwhelmed. It could be work, it could be family, it could just be, well, life. That feeling is universal. But what if I told you there's a biological button you can press to hit the brakes on that feeling anytime you want?
Okay, first things first. Before we can learn to control stress, we have to tear down a huge myth about what it even is. See, most of us have this story in our heads about stress, and it's not just a little off, it's basically wrong.
You've heard this a million times, right? That our stress response is this outdated program from our caveman days, just misfiring its spreadsheets and traffic jams instead of saber-toothed tigers. It's a nice, simple story, but it totally misses the point of why we have stress in the first place.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Our ancestors dealt with losing people they loved, with social drama, with not knowing where their next meal was coming from. Those are huge stressors. The idea that they were just happily chilling out until a tiger popped out of the bushes is just not realistic. Stress has always been part of being human.
So, if it's not just for fighting tigers, then what is it actually for? This leads us to the single most important idea we're going to cover today, the real job of your stress response.
And here is the big reframe. Stress isn't for one specific thing. It's a general-purpose mobilization system. Its only job is to get your brain and body ready to do something important. It doesn't care if that something is running for your life, nailing a presentation, or having a really tough conversation. It's your body's go-time signal.
And making this distinction is absolutely critical. In the short term, that go-time signal is amazing. It actually makes you sharper, more focused, and it even gives your immune system a temporary boost. But when that system gets stuck in the on position, when it becomes chronic, that's when it causes all the problems we think of as stress.
So the easiest way to picture this is with a car analogy. Your body has two competing systems. You've got the sympathetic nervous system, that's your gas pedal. It revs you up, gets you ready for action. And then you have the parasympathetic nervous system, that's your brake pedal. It calms everything down. The whole secret to managing stress is just learning how to consciously press that brake.
And here's the best part. Your body actually comes with a pre-installed high-performance brake pedal that you can use anytime you want. It's a tool based on pure physiology, and it has a name, the physiological sigh. It is ridiculously simple to do. You just take a big, deep breath in through your nose, and then, when you think you're full, you sneak in one more little sip of air right at the top. Then, you just let it all out with a long, slow exhale through your mouth. That's it. Double inhale, long exhale.
And look, this isn't just some feel-good breathing exercise. As neuroscientist Andrew Huberman puts it, this is a hardwired biological reflex. It is literally the fastest way you can tell your brain and body to slam on the brakes and calm down, right now, in real time.
So, how on earth can something so basic be so incredibly effective? Let's pop the hood for a second and look at the beautiful, simple mechanics of why this works.
And here's why this is such a game changer. When you are truly stressed out, trying to think your way calm feels impossible, right? Your brain is just spiraling. This tool bypasses that whole struggle. You're not using your mind to control your mind. You're using your body, specifically your breath, to take direct control of your nervous system. The science here is just, well, it's elegant. Your lungs are filled with millions of tiny little air sacs called alveoli. When you get stressed, a lot of these little sacs collapse flat. That first big inhale starts to reinflate them, but it's that sneaky second inhale that forces them all the way open. And by doing that, you maximize the surface area so that on the long exhale, you can dump the most carbon dioxide possible. Getting rid of that CO2 is a direct, powerful signal to your brain to chill out.
And maybe the best part of all, it works fast. You don't need to go find a quiet room and meditate for 20 minutes. Right in the moment, before that big meeting, when you feel that wave of anxiety, just 1 to 3 of these sighs is often all it takes to bring your stress level way down.
Okay, so the physiological sigh is your emergency brake for in-the-moment stress. But how does this one tool fit into a bigger, long-term strategy for really mastering your internal state?
Let's think about this on a few different levels. For real-time stress, you've got the sigh. That's your go-to. For the medium term, you can actually train yourself to handle more stress.
You do this by deliberately putting your body in a state of high alert, think intense exercise, and practicing keeping your mind calm. You're teaching your brain that a racing heart doesn't have to mean panic. And for the long term, the science is crystal clear. The best buffer against chronic stress is deep, meaningful social connection. And all of this brings us to the real key takeaway. The point is never to get rid of stress. You need it. It's your do something signal. The real skill, the superpower, is learning how to voluntarily turn that stress response off when you're done with it. It's about learning how to hit the brake when the action is over.
So what this all means is that you are not just a passenger, you have the controls. You have a gas pedal and you have a brake pedal. The physiological sigh is one of the most direct ways to grab the steering wheel of your own nervous system. So the only question is, how are you going to steer? Thanks for tuning in.